Disney's Star Wars. What a complete disaster. And people thought this franchise hit a low with Jar Jar Binks.
You mightn't be saying that.
But here we are again, folks. The executives that are money hungry are beating the living hell out of this horse once again. Because Disney is now releasing a new Star Wars film with everyone's favorite character, Rey Skywalker. The strong female hero who is just strong and powerful because feminism. Rey is returning in this Star Wars film to rebuild the new Jedi Order. Or is it Ord her? It all makes sense now because the Force is female. Oh, but wait. Shouldn't we ask what the Force's pronouns are before we start assuming? Isn't that transphobic or something? Are you a bigot, Disney? Are you assuming the Force's gender?
You are a bigot and a homophobe.
Well, if they are going to commit with this Mary Sue character and just pound down that the Force is female, it only makes sense that they get a director who embodies this same type of concept. And that is exactly what Kathleen Kennedy and Lucasfilms did. Who is Shamir Abed Chenoy, director of the next Star Wars movie? Remember back in the day when Marvel and Star Wars were directed by actual filmmakers? We really took that time for granted because now it seems like they're just casting directors at this point. They have a checkbox of all the diversities they want, and whoever fills that list gets the job. Unlike previous Star Wars directors Rian Johnson, J.J. Abrams, and of course George Lucas, Shamir Abed Chenoy is best known for her history as a documentarian and journalist. Her film history is largely one that involves documentaries centered on activism in her native country, Pakistan. And although she has recent experience with larger franchises, her introduction to the Star Wars universe as a film director reflects a fairly large transition for her career-wise. Going from activist documentaries to a multi-million-dollar sci-fi action film is an absurd leap. I imagine there's going to be huge differences and huge problems they will encounter. And all those problems and differences could cause this movie to fail big time. I mean, has she ever even directed an action sequence or an action scene? I'm just curious of what the lightsaber fights are gonna look like.
Anger is not the way of the Jedi.
If I was a betting man, I would probably say there probably isn't going to be any lightsaber battles in this first film. Hell, she's probably not even going to focus on any other classic tropes in Star Wars films. Good versus evil, or how it's all about family. Family. This will probably be a story about how females are strong, independent, and have no flaws, and no man can tell them what to do because the Force is female now. Anyways, let's look at some really dumb comments this new director made in the past.
Oh, absolutely. I like to make men uncomfortable. I enjoy making men uncomfortable. But, it is important to be able to look into the eyes of a man and say, I am here, and recognize that. And recognize that I am working to bring something that makes you uncomfortable, and it should make you uncomfortable.
Okay, so this clip is from 8 years ago, and of course she is not talking about the new Star Wars film at all. But it is making the rounds online, and for good reason. Has her opinions changed from this moment? Most people will say no, and I have to agree with them, because that is what she did for her whole entire career, was make these documentaries about women. And according to a lot of people, she was good at it. She has won multiple awards for it. So yeah, don't expect some huge 180 turn from this statement. But she totally should, because most of the people watching these films are male. So just keep that in mind. Now listen, don't get me wrong, I respect the work she has done with these documentaries. There are some horrible things happening to women overseas, and those issues should be addressed. But my main concern is, what the hell does that have to do with making a Star Wars film? It's just very obvious they are casting her in this role because she checks so many diversity checkpoints, and they will gain so much respect from this woke cult online. All right, let's take a look at another statement that is making the rounds.
I'm very thrilled about the project because I think what we are about to create is something very special. And we're in 2024 now. And I think it's about time that we had a woman come forward to shape the story in a galaxy far, far away.
I'm sorry, what?
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
So we're just ignoring all the female directors from Star Wars, including Bryce Dallas Howard and Deborah Chow, who directed Obi-Wan Kenobi. I mean, that show wasn't good at all, but, you could say she shaped it. And speaking of stuff that's not good, what about Kathleen Kennedy? She's been at Lucasfilms for like 12 years now. I mean, she maybe produced one good film, but other than that, everything's been terrible. But she's definitely shaped Star Wars. And we can even go back further to 1977 when Marcia Lucas, George Lucas's old wife, helped edit the entire film. She quite literally shaped Star Wars. If it wasn't for her, we probably wouldn't even be talking about this franchise at all. But yeah, sure, say whatever you want and make up your own history, herstory, because the shills will come out and support you no matter what. And yes, there was a lot of people defending her comments. There was one particular reaction that I enjoyed the most, and it comes from John Rocka.
I swear to God, men, reach down into your pants, find your fucking balls and your cock, and be okay with it. We can take a woman directing a film in Star Wars and live. We're all gonna fucking survive. I swear to God, you guys want to come off like you're tough motherfuckers, and you're a bunch of wusses. Finally, a woman gets to direct a theatrical feature in Star Wars with Rey, with other women leading the way.
I love it. Just completely misses the point outright. He just thinks that any criticism towards this new director is because she's female.
But the sexist trolls, they hate women. They hate everything.
No, these people only criticize the bad things in Star Wars. There are well-written women characters in this franchise. Princess Leia, Mon Mothma, Padme Amidala, and can't forget about our girl, Cara Dune. The people who complain about all the other terrible characters have points and make them very well. And then when people like John go to counteract their points, their only argument is, in the grand scheme of things, this director is being put into a major shithole. I mean, just think about it. They're handing her keys to a franchise that has basically ruined its reputation, and she has to work with one of the most hated characters of all time. I mean, how dare they do that to a woman of color? But the cycle of Star Wars will resume once again. A trilogy gets made and it's heavily criticized, and people start to not hate the previous trilogy. I mean, just wait, guys. Just wait until we're all saying how good Last Jedi actually was. But I want to hear from you guys. What do you guys think of this new director and some of the comments she made? Let me know down in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.